The silence of space is profound, vast, eternal, and unbroken. The hum of the spacecraft is the only sound, steady and reassuring as it cuts through the cold, infinite blackness of the cosmos. Ahead, the distant planet of Mars slowly comes into view, its red surface glowing faintly in the starlight. The astronaut on board watches in awe, their heart beating with anticipation and wonder. This is the moment they've dreamed of, the moment humanity sets foot on a new world. As the spacecraft descends, the horizon of Mars grows closer. The planet's surface is barren and dusty, the landscape dominated by vast deserts and towering canyons. It's a world unlike Earth, harsh yet beautiful in its simplicity. The astronaut's hand rests lightly on the control panel as they prepare for the landing, the calm rhythm of their breath syncing with the steady pulse of the ship. This is the beginning of something incredible, something that will change the course of history forever. The moment the ship touches down, a gentle tremor shakes the vessel. The astronaut can feel it, the solid, unyielding surface of Mars, the planet that humans have dreamed of reaching for so long. With a soft sigh, they release the controls and stand. There is no rush, no frantic movement, only a quiet, steady excitement. They slip into their suit and approach the airlock. The metallic sound of the suit sealing around them, filling the quiet cabin. Outside the ship, Mars waits. The air is thin, the sky a pale orange, and the dust of the planet swirls gently in the faint winds. The astronaut steps forward, the airlock hissing as it opens, revealing the first steps of the Martian surface. The stillness of the planet greets them, silent, ancient, and vast. They take a step onto the dusty red ground, and then another. With each step, they move closer to something beyond their wildest dreams. The beginning of a new era for humanity. The ground feels strange beneath their boots, softer than Earth's soil, but firm and solid nonetheless. The astronaut pauses, standing in the silence, feeling the weight of the moment settle in. They gaze at the endless horizon, the Martian sky stretching endlessly before them, dotted with distant clouds of dust. It is a landscape so alien, yet so inviting, a world waiting to be explored, waiting to become home. The astronaut looks back toward the spacecraft, where their fellow travelers stand in awe, their faces glowing with the excitement of this monumental achievement. Together, they have arrived on Mars, the first humans ever to set foot on this distant world. And as they stand there, on the edge of the unknown, they feel a deep connection to the planet beneath them. This is not just a new beginning for them, but for all of humanity. The fairy guide, who has been quietly observing, speaks softly, her voice a gentle echo in the astronaut's mind. This is the first step, the beginning of a new world. Mars is no longer a distant dream. It is a reality. And you, the pioneers, are its first guardians, its first explorers. The journey ahead may be long and full of challenges, but it will also be full of discovery, wonder, and hope. The astronaut nods, a sense of peace washing over them. They are ready. Mars is their new home, and together with their fellow settlers, they will build something extraordinary. The future has begun, and it begins here. with this first step onto the red surface of the Martian soil. The birth of the colonies after. The first steps were taken on Mars. The initial excitement slowly gives way to the deep work of creating a new world. The settlers, a team of scientists, engineers, and dreamers, set to work with quiet determination. The red planet, barren and vast, is both a challenge and a canvas. A world ready to be shaped into something that will sustain humanity for generations to come. The first colony is built inside massive transparent domes, designed to protect against Mars' harsh environment. Inside these domes, lush green hydroponic farms flourish, providing the settlers with food and oxygen, while outside the domes, the Martian landscape stretches out, untouched and wild. The sight of green plants growing on Mars, the first signs of life flourishing on the barren soil, fills the astronauts with a sense of wonder. There is something deeply peaceful about the way Earth's plants have found their way to this distant world, offering a small semblance of home in an otherwise alien landscape. The colony's small crew works together as a community, each person contributing to the growth of their new home. Every task is important, building the necessary infrastructure, establishing power sources, and ensuring that Mars can be a place where life can thrive. The solar panels catch the distant rays of the sun, converting them into energy that powers everything from the living quarters to the life support systems. The colony is self-sustaining, a tiny Earth in a place where life was once impossible. The astronauts know that their work here will lay the foundation for future generations to follow. At night, when the Martian sky is quiet and still, the stars seem closer than ever before. The small colony is bathed in the soft glow of artificial lights, the distant glow of the sun reflected off the surface of the planet, creating an eerie beauty. There is a serenity in these nights, a sense that the colonists are connected to something much larger than themselves, a peaceful, quiet universe that stretches on forever. The fairy guide, her wings shimmering in the soft light of the colony, hovers beside the astronaut. "This is the birth of something extraordinary," she says softly. "You have taken the first steps, but now it is time to build. The colony will grow and evolve, just as you will. Each step you take here, no matter how small, is part of the grand journey of humanity. You are creating a new world, one where life can flourish and where new dreams can take root." The astronaut smiles, feeling the weight of the responsibility ahead. But there is no fear. There is only the quiet certainty that this is the path forward. A path where humanity will survive and thrive on Mars. The colonists work together, side by side, building a future in the face of uncertainty, all with the understanding that they are a part of something greater. In the days that follow, the colony grows. New structures are built, new resources gathered, and the settlement begins to feel more like a home. The astronauts stand on the surface of Mars, their eyes fixed on the horizon, where the sun sets behind the dusty hills. They are building a future here, a future that will be passed down through generations, a future where humans live among the stars, and Mars is no longer an empty, barren world, but a thriving, living planet. The Whispering Caves, the colony on Mars, is growing stronger with each passing day. Its domes shining softly under the dim glow of the Martian sun. The settlers have become accustomed to the gentle hum of their work, to the sound of hydroponic systems and solar panels powering their lives. Yet, there are still mysteries on this planet, ancient secrets hidden beneath its surface, waiting to be uncovered. While exploring the rocky terrain beyond the colony, a group of settlers stumbles upon something extraordinary. As they make their way through the Martian dust, their eyes catch sight of a narrow entrance, partially hidden by a cascade of red stone. The ground beneath their feet shifts, and they find themselves standing before a cave, an unexpected feature on the Martian surface. This cave, unlike any natural formation they've seen before, seems almost alive. The entrance is lined with strange markings, almost as if the rock itself is etched with an ancient language, worn smooth by the ages. The explorers feel a deep pull, an instinctive sense that this cave holds secrets, stories of the past waiting to be discovered. Inside, the air is different. The airlock's comforting hum fades into the background as the sound of the cave surrounds them, creating an eerie sense of quiet. The deeper they venture, the more the cave seems to whisper, a soft hum, as though the stone itself is alive with energy. The whispers grow louder as they step further in, a soft, almost melodic sound that seems to echo through the walls, like voices carried on the wind. The fairy guide appears beside the astronaut, her presence comforting and serene. "This is one of Mars' oldest secrets," she says gently. "The Whispering Caves are not just geological formations, but a place where the very history of the planet seems to breathe. The sounds you hear are not random. They are the echoes of the past, carried by the energy that once flowed through this world." The astronaut listens closely, feeling the vibration of the whispers as they move deeper into the cave. The whispers are not words, not quite, but something more. They are sensations, impressions of something ancient, something powerful that once lived on Mars. As they continue, the whispers seem to form patterns, gentle rhythms that speak of life, of beings who once walked the surface of Mars, beings whose civilization is now lost to time. There is more to this planet than meets the eye, the fairy guide continues. Mars has a history long before humanity arrived. The whispers you hear are remnants of a time when this world was alive with activity, when life thrived here. The ancient Martians, those who lived long ago, left their mark in the very stones, in the fabric of this planet. They left messages, not with words, but with energy, stored in the vibrations of the rock. The astronaut steps deeper into the cave, their heart beating in time with the whispers. They feel an overwhelming sense of connection to the ancient Martians, as if the echoes of their existence are calling out from the past. It's not a haunting presence, but a gentle reminder that Mars is not just a planet of barren dust and rock. It is a place filled with stories, filled with history, waiting to be discovered. The whispers seem to carry the essence of these ancient beings, their lives, their hopes, their dreams, stories that are lost but not forgotten. The astronaut feels a sense of awe, as if they are a part of something timeless, something much greater than themselves. They are not just building a new life on Mars. They are connecting to the very soul of the planet, to its ancient past. As the group ventures further, they feel the whispering grow softer. It's more distant, like the fading echoes of an ancient song. They know that they have uncovered something extraordinary, a glimpse into Mars' forgotten history, and that this discovery will guide the future of their colonies. The Martian whisper calls them onward to explore deeper into the mysteries of this planet, to listen more closely to the stories that Mars is waiting to tell. The Martian dreamers. The discovery of the whispering caves has left the settlers with more questions than answers. As they continue to build their new lives on Mars, they cannot shake the feeling that something ancient stirs beneath the surface of this red planet. It's as though the very land itself is alive, speaking to them through the soft whispers in the cave, through the shifting sands, and through the dreams that have begun to plague their sleep. At first, it was only a few settlers who reported vivid dreams after their excursions into the caves. These dreams were not like ordinary ones. They felt real, as though the dreamers were walking through ancient Martian cities, seeing the world through the eyes of a long-forgotten civilization. In their dreams, the Martian sky was filled with brilliant colors, the land lush and thriving with life, and the cities were filled with beings unlike anything the settlers had ever seen. The Martian dreamers, as they had come to be called, would wake with a strange sense of knowing, as though they had lived these experiences before, as though the ancient Martian civilization was calling out to them from the past, asking them to remember. These dreams were more than visions. They were memories, fragments of a world that once existed, preserved in the echoes of the past. As the astronaut drifts through the colony, the whispers of the Martian dreamers grow louder. They are not disturbed by these dreams. Instead, they find a sense of quiet comfort in them. The dreams are like a bridge, a connection to the long-lost Martian race, a people who once thrived here. The dreams bring with them a sense of peaceful revelation, as though the Martian past is slowly coming to light, and the settlers are being asked to remember, to carry on the legacy of those who once called Mars home. The fairy guide, glowing softly beside the astronaut, smiles gently. These dreams are not mere visions of the mind, she says, her voice calm and soothing. They are glimpses into the memories of Mars itself. The planet has lived many lives, just as you will. The Martian dreamers are connected to this world, connected to the ancient souls that once walked its surface. These dreams are messages, fragments of the Martian consciousness, passing through the cosmic energy of the universe, reaching out to those who are ready to receive them. The astronaut listens intently, feeling a deep connection to the words. The dreams are not random. They are a call from the past, urging the settlers to learn, to grow, and to remember that Mars is not just a new home for humanity. It is a world with its own rich history, filled with stories waiting to be uncovered. As the days pass, more settlers begin to experience the same dreams. The once silent Martian landscape now seems to hum with energy, as if the planet itself is waking up. The dreams grow more vivid, more detailed. The dreamers walk through the ancient cities, interact with the long-gone Martians, and see the beauty of the world as it once was, before the desolate red deserts took over. They feel a sense of belonging to this world, as though the land is theirs, just as much as it was the Martians before them. The settlers gathered together, sharing their dreams and experiences. They speak of the visions they've had, of cities made of crystal, of oceans that once stretched across the surface, of beings who walked the Earth's twin planet, wise and peaceful. The more they share, the more they realize that they are meant to be here. Mars has called to them, just as it once called to the Martians who lived here long ago. It is not just a planet they are colonizing, but a world with a soul, with a past, with memories waiting to be remembered. The Martian dreamers understand that their purpose here is more than survival. It is about discovery, the discovery of Mars, of the ancient civilizations that once called it home, and of the deep connection between humanity and the stars. These dreams are the universe's way of teaching them, of guiding them toward something greater. The shifting atmosphere, the Martian landscape, stretches out in front of the colony. Its dusty red surface bathed in the soft, steady light of the distant sun. The settlers have become accustomed to the stark beauty of Mars, the towering cliffs, the sprawling plains, and the swirling dust storms that occasionally sweep across the horizon. Yet, despite the initial challenges, the planet is slowly transforming. Over time, the atmosphere, once too thin and inhospitable for human life, is beginning to change. It starts with small, subtle shifts in the air. The once frigid winds now carry a soft warmth, like the first breath of spring. The sky, which once had a muted orange hue, now seems to brighten, a gentle blue tint creeping across the horizon. The colonists watch in wonder as their hard work begins to bear fruit. As the atmosphere of Mars slowly begins to breathe, the fairy guide, ever present beside the astronaut, smiles softly as she watches the transformation. Mars is an ancient world, and it has always had the potential for life, she says, her voice as gentle as the Martian breeze. It simply needed time, patience, and the right energy to awaken it. The process you see unfolding, the shift in the atmosphere, the slow warming of the planet, is the first step in bringing life back to this world. Mars is not just a planet of dust and stone. It is a living, breathing entity, waiting for the right moment to begin again. The settlers to feel the change. As the atmosphere thickens and the air grows more breathable, a sense of hope fills the colony. The once sterile, protective domes are now surrounded by fields of green, and the artificial structures that once seemed so foreign to the Martian landscape now blend in more naturally with the land. It's as though Mars itself is beginning to embrace its new inhabitants, welcoming them with open arms into its ancient embrace. Outside the colony's walls, new crops sprout from the soil, their roots sinking deep into the newly enriched earth. The farmers smile as they tend to their hydroponic fields, the plants now flourishing in the soft Martian sunlight. For the first time since their arrival, they feel a sense of belonging. a quiet understanding that they are not merely surviving on Mars, but beginning to nurture it back to life. The atmosphere, once a barrier to life, now feels like a protective shield, a comforting presence that promises a future of growth and possibility. The fairy guide's voice drifts on the wind, her words blending with the gentle hum of the colony. As the atmosphere shifts, so does the energy of Mars. This transformation is not just physical, it is spiritual. The planet's heart beats in time with the hearts of the settlers. As you breathe new life into Mars, so does Mars breathe new life into you. You are connected now more than ever. To this world, the astronaut feels the deep truth of these words settle into their heart. The transformation happening on Mars is not just scientific or technological. It is deeply personal. The settlers are not just colonists. They are partners with Mars, working in harmony to bring life to a once-forgotten world. As the air becomes thicker and the climate more stable, the astronaut feels a profound sense of connection to the planet beneath them. Mars is no longer a stranger. It is their home, their future, and their partner in this cosmic journey. In the evenings, when the Martian sky is clear and the stars begin to shine brightly, the colonists gather outside to witness the beauty of the changing world. The once barred red deserts are now dotted with green fields and shimmering lakes, their still waters reflecting the changing sky. The air is soft and cool, and the colony feels like it is slowly coming to life. Breathing alongside the shifting atmosphere, the astronaut stands quietly, gazing out at the transforming landscape, feeling a deep sense of peace. Mars is no longer just a place of exploration. It is becoming a world where life can thrive, a new beginning for humanity and for the planet itself. The future is unfolding, gentle and steady, like the breath of the universe itself. The first Martian child, the colony on Mars, is thriving. The settlers, once wary and uncertain about their new home, have found their place in the quiet rhythm of life on this alien world. The atmosphere has shifted, and with it, a sense of hope and possibility has blossomed. The red planet, once barren and cold, is now beginning to feel like a home, a world where life can not only survive, but flourish in the heart of the colony. Nestled among the growing fields of green and the peaceful hum of the life support systems, a new chapter in the Martian story is about to unfold. For the first time in history, a child will be born on Mars. This child, a symbol of humanity's future on this world, will carry with them the dreams and hopes of an entire colony. The astronaut stands outside the medical dome, looking out at the soft Martian horizon as the sun dips below the dusty landscape. A deep sense of peace fills them as they think about the significance of this moment. The colony's new generation is about to begin, and with it, the connection between Mars and humanity grows even stronger. The fairy guide, her wings shimmering in the soft light, appears beside them, her presence gentle and reassuring. This child, the fairy guide says softly, is more than just a new life. They are the embodiment of hope, the continuation of a journey that began long ago. Mars has waited for this moment, for this new generation to take root, to live and grow on this world. The child represents the future of the colony, a future where humanity and Mars are no longer separate but one. This is the beginning of something extraordinary. The astronaut nods, feeling the weight of the moment. This is not just a birth. It is the future of Mars and the future of human life beyond Earth. The child, whose small heartbeat can be heard within the quiet medical dome, will be the first to grow up on this alien world. Their feet will touch the soil of Mars, their eyes will gaze up at its rusty sky, and their voice will carry the stories of this new world inside the medical dome. The first Martian child is born to a gentle chorus of cheers and soft whispers. The settlement's inhabitants gather around, watching with awe and reverence as the tiny being is gently wrapped in the warmth of the Martian blankets. This child's first breath is a symbol of the new life that has come to Mars, a living testament to the strength and resilience of humanity. The child's eyes flutter open, and for a brief moment, they gaze out at the world beyond the dome. Mars, the world of red dust and distant stars, is no longer an unknown. It is their home, just as it is for the settlers who have worked so hard to make it hospitable. The child is home on Mars, just as much as the stars and the wind are home to the planet itself. This child will grow up in a world where the future is not just a dream, the fairy guide says quietly. They will be part of a world where anything is possible, where dreams are no longer limited by the constraints of Earth. Their path is as limitless as the stars themselves. They will know no boundaries, no limitations. They will live with the knowledge that they are part of something much larger than themselves, something that will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. The astronaut smiles softly as they watch the child sleep peacefully in the arms of their parents, a quiet sense of awe filling them. Mars is no longer a place of survival. It is a place where life, hope, and dreams can grow, just as they always have on Earth. This child, the first of many, is the beginning of a new chapter, one where Mars is home, and humanity's connection to the stars is as real as the ground beneath their feet. The guardians of the red sky. As the Martian colony grows, the settlers begin to feel a deep, almost unexplainable connection to the red planet. The days pass in a peaceful rhythm, with the hum of the colony's systems providing a constant background to their lives. Yet, despite the steady progress, there remains an undercurrent of mystery that flows through Mars, an energy that the settlers cannot fully comprehend. There are moments when the sky seems to pulse with life, when the winds carry whispers that sound like ancient voices, when the very planet itself feels as though it is watching, waiting. The first settlers had often heard stories of the guardians of the red sky, ancient protectors who, according to the legends, had once watched over Mars. These guardians were said to be beings of energy, of light, who lived in the very atmosphere of the planet, keeping it safe and balanced. Though the stories were dismissed by most as myths, the settlers could not ignore the strange occurrences that seemed to point to something greater, something beyond their understanding. One quiet evening, as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the Martian sky with hues of orange and purple, the astronaut and their fellow settlers gather outside the colony. The air is still, the ground beneath their feet soft and red. They stand together, gazing up at the sky, watching the first stars begin to twinkle in the evening air. There is a sense of peace here, a quiet connection to the planet that feels almost sacred. And then, in the distance, they see it, a soft glow in the sky, faint at first, but growing brighter as it approaches. The glow shifts and pulses, moving like a wave of light across the horizon. It is not a ship, not a storm, but something different, something ethereal. The fairy guide, appearing beside the astronaut, smiles gently. "The guardians have awakened," she says, her voice soft and reverent. "Mars has always been a planet of power, and the guardians are the keepers of that power. They watch over the balance of life here, ensuring that the energy of the planet flows in harmony. They are not beings of flesh, but of pure cosmic energy, down to the red soil and the sky above. The settlers watch in awe as the glow intensifies, moving slowly across the sky like a wave of light. There are no sounds, no movements, only the peaceful, steady pulse of the glow. It is as though the guardians are guiding them, showing the settlers that they are not alone on this planet, that Mars is a living, breathing world, watched over by forces beyond their understanding. The astronaut feels a deep sense of calm wash over them. The guardians are not here to intervene or control. They are here to protect, to guide, to ensure that Mars continues its journey toward balance. The planet is no longer just a desolate world. It is alive with energy, with ancient wisdom that has been waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The guardians, though unseen, are always present, watching over the settlers, ensuring that they remain in harmony with the land. The guardians are not just protectors, the fairy guide continues. They are the embodiment of Mars itself, its heart, its spirit. They ensure that the energy of the planet flows in balance, that life continues to thrive here. The settlers are part of this cosmic dance, a dance that stretches back to the beginning of time. The guardians are the silent witnesses to that dance, guiding those who walk upon this world. As the glow of the guardians slowly fades, the astronaut feels a deep sense of gratitude. They are not alone on Mars. The planet is alive, vibrant, and full of energy. The guardians are here, watching over the settlers, ensuring that their journey on this world remains peaceful and harmonious. With the guardians by their side, the settlers feel more connected to Mars than ever before. A deep bond that cannot be broken. A cosmic connection that ties them to this red world and to the universe beyond. The Martian harvested. Has been several years since the first steps were taken on Mars, and the colony has transformed from a fragile outpost into a thriving, self-sustaining community. The Martian landscape, once barren and unforgiving, is now filled with lush hydroponic farms, greenhouses, brimming with crops, and the quiet hum of life support systems that keep the settlers safe. The air, once too thin to breathe, has thickened, and the once red dust has softened under the steady, patient work of the colonists. The settlers gather in the main dome, the centerpiece of their peaceful home on Mars. The air is filled with the scent of fresh produce, vegetables, and fruits grown on this once distant planet, now nourishing the people who call it home. The colony is ready to celebrate the Martian harvest, the first fruits of their labor after years of hard work and patience. As the settlers look out over the fields, they see rows of green crops stretching toward the horizon, the soft glow of the Martian sun casting a warm light on the plants. The once empty soil is now teeming with life, the first signs of a new, thriving world. For the settlers, the harvest is more than just a physical bounty. It is a symbol of everything they have achieved, a tangible reminder that they have made Mars their home and that life can take root. Even on a planet as inhospitable as this, the fairy guide, appearing beside the astronaut, watches the celebration unfold. The Martian harvest is not just about food, she says, her voice soft and soothing. It is about connection to the land, to the universe, and to each other. This harvest is the beginning of a new era, a time when Mars becomes not just a place to survive, but a place to live. Every grain of wheat, every leaf of lettuce, every fruit that grows here is a testament to the settlers' resilience, their determination to turn this planet into something that can nourish them for generations to come. The settlers gather together in the central courtyard, where the freshly harvested crops are being displayed. The Martian fields are filled with an array of colors, vibrant greens, rich reds, and soft yellows, the colors of life that now fill the once barren world. The settlers, their faces glowing with pride, begin to share the fruits of their labor. There is laughter, the clink of glasses, and the gentle hum of voices as the Martian community comes together to celebrate this peaceful milestone. For the astronaut, this moment feels like a dream. Mars, once a distant and hostile world, is now a place of comfort and promise. The journey that began with uncertainty has now blossomed into something extraordinary. The harvest is not just a crop of food, it is a harvest of hope, a harvest of dreams realized. And as they stand there, the astronaut knows that they are part of something much greater than themselves. They are part of the cosmic flow, the dance that connects all living things across the universe. The fairy guide smiles softly, her wings flickering gently in the soft light of the setting Martian sun. This harvest is just the beginning, she says. Mars is no longer a barren planet, but a living, breathing world. The Martian harvest marks the first chapter in humanity's future on this world. There will be many more harvests, many more celebrations, as this planet continues to thrive and evolve. But for now, take a moment to appreciate what you have accomplished. You have made Mars your home, and it will continue to nourish you, just as you have nourished it. The astronaut feels a deep sense of peace as they stand among the settlers, watching the harvest celebrations unfold. Mars is no longer a distant dream, but a world that is full of life and promise. They have built something beautiful here, and as the sun sets over the Martian horizon, they know that the future is as bright as the stars themselves. The ancient Martian legends, as the settlers continue to grow and flourish on Mars, their lives begin to take on new rhythms, not just of work, but of discovery. The past, long buried beneath the red dust, starts to rise to the surface, a collection of ancient stories and myths that seem to echo through the very bones of the planet. The settlers find themselves drawn to these Martian legends, whispers of a lost civilization that once thrived here, long before humanity arrived. One quiet evening, as the sun sets over the Martian horizon, a group of settlers gathers around a fire in the central courtyard of the colony. The light flickers softly, casting long shadows on the red soil, while the stars begin to twinkle above. This is not just a gathering to share food and stories, but to reconnect with the planet's past, to listen to the ancient tales that have been carried on the wind, passed down through the generations of settlers. The fairy guide, her wings shimmering softly in the starlight, joins the group. Mars is not just a planet of dust and stone, she says, her voice like a whisper on the wind. It is a world with a rich, hidden history. Long before humanity set foot here, Mars was home to a great civilization, one that is now lost to time. But their stories remain woven into the very fabric of this world. The Martian legends carry the echoes of their lives, their dreams, and their wisdom. The settlers listen closely, their eyes filled with wonder as the fairy guide begins to recount the first of the Martian legends. There was once a great city, built beneath the surface of Mars, she begins. It was a city of shining crystal, its walls aglow with the light of the Martian sun. The people who lived there were known as the Alari, beings of great wisdom and peace. They lived in harmony with the land, understanding the rhythms of Mars in ways that we are only beginning to comprehend. They had mastered the flow of energy, the currents of time, and the dance of the planets. The settlers sit in silence, their hearts filled with awe as the fairy guide continues, painting vivid pictures of the lost Martian world. The Ilari were not like humans. They did not build cities as we do, but shaped the land around them, weaving it into living structures that pulsed with energy. They communicated not just with words, but with the very essence of the planet. They knew the stars by name, and each of them carried within them the knowledge of the cosmos. The fire crackles softly, and for a moment, the settlers are lost in the ancient story, transported to a time long past. The fairy guide's voice is calming, as though the very energy of Mars flows through her words. The Ilari did not disappear. She continues. They transformed. When the time came, they left the physical world behind, becoming one with the very planet they loved so deeply. It is said that their energy still flows through Mars, in the wind, in the caves, and in the land itself. They are the guardians of this world, watching over those who come after them, ensuring that the balance of the planet remains intact. The settlers are silent for a moment, their minds filled with the weight of the story. The Ilari's wisdom and peace seem to live on in the very soil beneath their feet. They realize that their work here is not just about survival, but about honoring those who lived on Mars before them. Understanding the deep connection between themselves and the planet, the Martian legends are not just stories, the fairy guide says softly. They are guides filled with wisdom and knowledge. The Ilari may be gone, but their presence remains. Every whisper of the wind, every distant hum in the caves carries their energy. And now it is up to you to continue their legacy, to live in harmony with this world. as they once did, the settlers feel a deep sense of connection to the Ilari, to the ancient people who once called Mars home. In that quiet moment, under the Martian stars, they realize that they are not alone. They are part of a continuum, a thread that connects them to the ancient past and to the future that lies ahead. Mars is no longer just a barren world. It is a living, breathing planet with its own rich, mysterious history, and the settlers are now a part of that story. The Martian horizon, the settlement on Mars, has flourished, its fields of green stretching across the red soil. The hum of technology blending softly with the natural rhythms of the planet. The colony is no longer just a series of domes and structures. It has become a home, a place where life thrives, where dreams are nurtured, and where the connection between humanity and Mars deepens every day. The first steps on this distant world now feel like the beginning of something much larger, something that will span centuries and stretch across generations. The astronauts and settlers stand at the edge of the colony, looking out at the vast, beautiful expanse of Mars. The red dust rises softly in the Martian winds, swirling in gentle patterns as the stars begin to emerge in the evening sky. In the distance, the towering mountains and valleys of Mars stretch toward the horizon, their jagged edges softened by the glow of the setting sun. There is a quiet beauty here, a calm that fills the heart with a deep sense of peace. The astronaut, standing at the edge of the colony, feels the weight of the moment. Mars is no longer an unfamiliar world. It is a place where humanity has built its future, a world that now pulses with the quiet energy of life. There is no rush, no urgency. There is only a steady, peaceful flow, the rhythm of a new world being created, one moment at a time. The journey that began with uncertainty has led to this point, where the Martian horizon represents the future of humanity. The fairy guide, her wings shimmering softly in the Martian dusk, appears beside the astronaut, her presence a gentle comfort. "Look at what you have built," she says, her voice calm and soothing. "Mars is no longer just a distant dream. It is a world where life grows, where stories are written, and where the future of humanity unfolds with every passing day." The Martian horizon is not just a line in the distance. It is a symbol of possibility of what lies ahead. The astronaut gazes at the horizon, their mind filled with hope and wonder. Mars is not just a place to survive. It is a place to thrive, to dream, and to create something extraordinary. The colony is no longer a fragile experiment, but a testament to humanity's ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow in even the most unlikely of places. Every step taken on this planet is a step toward the future, a future where humanity reaches for the stars and makes them its home as the sun sets behind the Martian mountains. The sky slowly darkens, revealing the twinkling stars above. The astronauts and settlers stand together in silence, their hearts filled with a sense of belonging. They are part of this world now, part of the cosmic flow that connects all living things. Mars is not a place that belongs to the past, but to the future, a future that is as bright as the stars themselves. "This is the beginning," the fairy guide says, her voice soft and full of warmth. Mars is not just a colony, but a living, breathing world. The Martian horizon is not just a physical boundary, but a reminder that there is always more to discover, always more to create, and always more to learn. The horizon is not an end, but a new beginning, and it is yours to shape. The astronaut smiles, feeling a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. The horizon is wide and full of promise, stretching out before them as a blank canvas, ready to be filled with the dreams and hopes of future generations. The Martian horizon is not just a line in the sand, but the path forward, a journey that will take humanity beyond the stars, into the great unknown. As the Martian night settles in, the stars above twinkle softly, and the astronaut knows that they are part of something greater. The horizon, once distant and unattainable, is now within reach. And with each step forward, the future of Mars and humanity becomes brighter than ever.